Family and friends from Goshen, how are you? I hope you're doing great. We have some very nice people here in the studio today that you will recognize right away. I want to welcome Jeremy Stutsman, former mayor of Goshen, and also Brad Hunsberger, VP of Real Estate Development from La Casa. Welcome to the Goshen Chronicles.
Thank you. Thanks for having us here.
And my pleasure, Jeremy. You have been extremely busy in the last year as you transitioned from being a mayor to now the CEO of La Casa. And so I've been wanting to have you here in the studio to talk to us about that transition. You definitely left a legacy in the city, and I'm sure that you're making a new legacy at La Casa. And today we're going to be talking about something beautiful. But before we do that, I wanted to ask you, how are you doing in your new job?
Yeah, it's been a great year for me during this transition. I loved my last job working with the community in the way I did. But it came with a lot of stress and a lot of hours. So being able to transition to La Casa, where I get to work a little bit more directly with people who need housing. Mayors can help a lot, but they can't. There's not a lot of dollars you can hand out, so you're always connecting people with others to give them the actual help they need. So being able to be at La Casa, more hands-on, working with the staff, people like Brad. He's got just decades of experience in doing what he does. So it's been a good learning experience for me, but also a really positive transition in my life. Having a little more time with family, getting to go to work and being excited about learning new things again and working with a great team. So
Probably
it's
a
been
break
nice.
from politics, right?
Yeah, I don't have to deal with politics nearly as much anymore, which is definitely nice.
I was telling you before we came on air that I kind of look at politics like I look at my life. I'm a pastor kid. Mm-hmm. So being a pastor kid, everybody keeps an eye on you all the time, and you can do anything wrong because they're there on you, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure you're getting a break. Brad, how you doing? How long have you been at La Casa?
I've been at La Casa for 27 years.
Oh, my goodness.
I started as a 21-year-old junior carpenter in 1998.
Wow.
Yeah.
And kind of you work your way up to the ranks. Wow, very good.
Yeah. And for the last 15 years, I've been the VP of Real Estate Development. So.
Wow, very good. So we have seen a lot, and I'm sure you have seen a lot through those years. Mm-hmm. Before we came on air, we were talking about the housing bubble in 2008. And, the Goshen city, as, Jeremy knows, is tight with housing. The city can only grow so fast for so much, and then the influx of people coming because of work opportunities, that creates a bottleneck. But we also know the importance of housing for people, and I really loved your idea of how you look at housing. Tell us what's in your heart, more than the work. What's in your heart about housing and how important that is to human life?
Yeah, one of the fundamentals of life is stable housing, and that was true thousands of years ago. The stable home life, stable place where you lay your head every night, impacts every aspect of your life, and whether that is from a place of strength or a place of weakness. To be able to provide permanent housing for folks who otherwise might not have that opportunity, to have a place that is stable and affordable, it allows them to flourish in other parts of their lives. And one of the largest hindrances for folks to reach their goals, dreams in life, a lot of times is day-to-day expenses, and housing is a big piece of that. The more we can stabilize that portion of their life, the more they can thrive in their own life and the community, and be stable enough to volunteer at your church, or come out for First Fridays, or whatever that is. And so housing as a human right is a fundamental belief of ours. And we try to do that every day.
Yeah. So going back to Jeremy, after being the mayor and after working at La Casa for almost a year, I think you have more clarity of the value that an institution like Casa brings to the city. Can you share over with us?
Yeah, I since I was on council for 8 years and mayor for almost an additional 8 years there, I had a lot of connections with past leaders, worked with Brad for many years from the city side of things for projects. So I've always known what La Casa does. Coming into the organization and really getting to dig into everything. I knew La Casa was a great organization. I knew they were heavily involved, but now being part of it, I realized to the extent of all that, and it's much bigger than even I thought it was. And I was somebody that was very connected with the group in the past. So it's been a great experience. La Casa is full of people that just have great hearts, really want to help other people. And so we do all we can, whether it's through financial literacy classes, our community outreach programs, and then our housing that we do as well. So we're always trying to do our best to help empower individuals and families to become into a place in life where they're more secure and in all they do. And because Brad nailed it, the housing, having a secure house affects every aspect of your life. Everything from education and health of kids to the health of parents and the ability to better maintain jobs long term. And it's a big deal to have a secure home and a safe home.
Absolutely. So we are going to be talking about a beautiful program that you guys are working with Basher's Home, which is, and I'm sorry, and I was completely blindspotted by this because, we assume that, things work perfectly in the perfect world, right? But it doesn't. So many foster kids that are in programs, the program ends at when they turn 19 years old, correct? And after that happens, really, they are at their own luck, and sometimes without the safety net or the social support to get into a house and apartment. The kids that have families, parents, sometimes they can manage to stay in their parents' house for a while until they feel, secure enough or economically, stable to move to a housing by themselves. But foster kids don't have the same opportunity. And you guys are closing the gap with a program. Could you tell us a little bit about this program?
Yeah, so late last year, Brad and Alan Grieser at La Casa came to me with a grant opportunity. This was a new grant that the state was bringing forward. And it was DCS, Department of Child Services, and IHCDA, which is the Indiana Housing Group, coming together to create these dollars. And so we decided immediately that this is something we wanted to apply for. So this project, La Casa is going to be building the project, maintaining it, and over the next many years, we reached out to Basher Home, Sean McCrendle at Basher Home, to see if they would come in to offer those social services to the tenants of this facility. And you were talking about kids aging out. It can be anywhere from age 18 to 23, depending on the situation and how things are in that particular situation are going. So that's the age group we'll be working with is 18 to 23. And then Brad has just been a master of successfully grabbing grants for La Casa, but then also running us through the projects and getting these things built.
Okay, so Brad, you want to walk us through this project? What it entitles?
Sure. So we will be, we haven't quite finalized exactly the size and scale of the building. We're shooting for about 11 units with some associated community space, laundry room, office for Basher folks to provide services out of, kind of some common space, if you will.
Sure.
The key distinction, there'll be 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom units. We've, in our discussions with Basher, have found that there's not an insignificant number of children who have children at 17, 18, and will age out of foster care with a little one in tow. And so to not risk having to separate those, or not, availability of housing that could bring along a young child for a single parent to raise was seen as a need. And the housing will be permanent. The zeitgeist has perceptions of temporary transitional housing as the way to, not break the bank, and you don't give too much away, and it's just transitional, and then you have to, move on with your life because you're expected to move on with your life. What has been born out of multiple scientific studies is, like we talked about already, about the stability and the need for that in everybody's lives.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter when that transition period ends. It's not stable.
Correct.
Right? You're always worried about it.
Yeah.
Whether it's a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Unless you're able to have your own agency and ability to make life decisions on your own that aren't forced upon you by a program, it gives you a lot more ability to stabilize your life, and however that needs to be or doesn't need to be stabilized, but to have a consistent, predictable, repeatable situation with your housing is the goal.
That's good. And you mentioned that this is not just limited to Basher, correct? These other institutions as well, they're going to be referring the people. Is that how it's going to work?
Correct. We think most of it's going to come through Basher. They're the local, they're our partner, but they have a network of other agencies that work with foster kids that they're very engaged with region-wide, statewide. And I'd say most of the kids are going to come through Basher programs, but we're always going to have an ear out, and we're always going to have communication with the other folks who are dealing with and servicing this particular population.
That's good. Well, that's an amazing. Jeremy, what are the future plans for La Casa? How do you see that growing to serving the community? Because housing is short in the area.
Yeah, so La Casa for years, and we'll continue to do this, do all we can to continue to add units to Elkhart County, both Goshen and Elkhart City, to help provide, fill in those housing gaps that we're having. The gaps are pretty big right now, so it's not something La Casa is going to do on our own.
Sure.
But there's a lot of groups out there that are doing positive things towards housing, including the cities who are stepping up a little bit more to help with infrastructure dollars, and those things are just making it too expensive for projects to move forward. You mentioned earlier that, some comment about me leaving a legacy at La Casa. I actually feel really fortunate because La Casa has an amazing legacy already, and I just feel fortunate that I get to be part of that. So what we're working at doing is just keeping things moving, trying to secure our future just a little bit better at La Casa so that we have a little bit more room in the budget to do some planning, do some dreaming as well, but also just keep up with all the important services and that we're offering the communities.
Sure. Is there a webpage where people can find information about La Casa?
Yeah, we've got our website up, and it's, I want to say,
LaCasaInc.net.
Thank you. Obviously still learning everything.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, it's an amazing program. I think I know some people that have gotten their housing through La Casa, and Goshen is a special city. I think that we all agree on to that we have a more community-minded people here. Are there any ways that people can help La Casa, donate or?
Absolutely. Every dollar helps. That's any nonprofits that way. So donations, we've been very fortunate that we have a very high retention rate with people that decide to start donating to La Casa. Oh, good. A high percentage of them continue to give year after year. That's great for us. So we're always looking for new donors. But then also, just participating in some of our projects. We do volunteer groups throughout the whole year. We'll work with small groups, large groups, and those volunteer hours help La Casa quite a bit as well.
Sure.
There's projects that we go in that might take our staff, our in-house staff, a week to accomplish, where if we have a group of volunteers that comes in and works beside us, we can get that done in a day or two. So really helps expand what our staff can do throughout the year.
Yeah. And for the people that might not know what La Casa programs kind of look like, could you walk us through some of those programs? Yeah.
So, we do the affordable housing. We have our rentals, but we also have homes that we build and then sell at affordable prices. Outside of the housing pieces, we have financial literacy classes. Those classes are free to anyone who wants to come to them. We have trained staff on board that are certified to teach these classes. It's called the Master It series. Okay. We got Master Your Money class. There's a Master Your Debt, Master Your Credit, and Master Home Ownership. Those classes walk you through things that you can do to help change your situation. They also walk you through just kind of the common mistakes people make.
Yeah.
And they're great for all levels. It's great for an entry level person to go through that hasn't maybe had a budget for very long.
Yeah.
But I've sat through some of the stuff already, and there's things I picked up too, and I've been involved in businesses and my own budget for many years. So they really are great classes. We keep those free to the community.
Very good.
And that's one reason why those donations are so important to us, because when you offer free services, you got to find a way to pay for that.
Sure.
So having donors, people that believe in what we're doing, is a big piece of that. We also have staff at La Casa that works on tenant resources. They get out there. They're helping to connect our tenants, helping to encourage them, whether it's in an apartment building or other, to get together, more like a neighborhood association type thing. keeping people talking, keeping opportunities in front of them. Yeah. And then we also do community outreach through La Casa. La Casa, I believe, is a couple decades ago now, helped set up almost all of the neighborhood associations that are in Goshen.
Okay.
They did that in collaboration with the city of Goshen, working together. That's been a very successful thing. And as mayor, I can tell you those neighborhood associations were just a great way to have eyes and ears on the ground that could relay issues and positive things that are happening in the neighborhoods.
Sure.
So we do that in Goshen and Elkhart. So we've got quite a bit going. It keeps us busy.
That's fantastic. Well,
one other thing, quick. Yeah. Actually, this is a big one. We also have our IDA accounts, individual development accounts, and these are, it's a federal program that La Casa is authorized to do. There's some classes that come along with this. There's some, you have to fit the standards to how much you make and everything. But if you can save $1,500, you go through the program, save $1,500 over a 2-year period, the federal government will match you with $4,500 in that account. So you all of a sudden have $6,000. And those can be used towards down payment on a house. There's a whole bunch of categories, but fixing up a house or for higher education. So it's a great way to build a budget. Sure. And we work with Habitat Humanity of Elkhart County and St. Joe County and their clients to help them get that $6,000 to do the down payments or whatever they're going to use it for. So it's been a great program.
That's amazing.
As well.
Something just came to mind. It says information is power, right? So to know these programs and to to go through those classes to understand the implications of buying a house and how you can do it in a way that is more affordable, and the things that any new homeowner needs to know about purchasing a house, right? Yeah. And again, since going back to the economy, don't want to stay too much on there, but I know that it's a challenge to obtain housing now, and it seems like new generations are having a harder time to get housing. As prices go up in construction, you were sharing with me earlier about how that's become a challenge. More information and knowing how to get it done right is so important, so vital. So we encourage our audience to check out the La Casa webpage. Also, give them a phone call. We're going to put a link here on this video and share this video. I believe that you will find value, either by helping the cause and by donating your time or donating your money to La Casa, as well as sharing this information so that other people that don't have housing yet and they have that same challenge, they can get information. And above all, to know that the beautiful community that we live in and all the different programs that are being put together by institutions, the government, and the city to make sure that everybody has the right to a house and the right to live in a place. And I think the Almighty every single day with my family for our house. It's one of those things that is like the invisible family member, right? I tell my family that's our house. We have to take care of it. We have to make sure that we thank the Father for having a place. But I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I don't know if there's any other remarks that you guys want to share with our audience, or.
Thanks for having us. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, my pleasure.
And appreciate what you guys do to help keep Goshen and others informed too. It's a great service you're offering. So
our pleasure.
Yeah.
Our pleasure. It's a blessing. Thank you so much one more time. Family, friends, Magdiel Santiago, this is the Goshen Chronicles. Again, please share, like, and subscribe if you haven't done so. And make sure that you click the like button as well. Again, Magdiel Santiago, the Goshen Chronicles. I'll see you next time. Thank you.